Call the Boonville Board of Works to order. Inform everybody that this meeting is being recorded and your participation in this meeting is your consent to be recorded and rebroadcast on the city's YouTube channel at a later date. I'll ask Tammy Borff to do roll call.
Chuck Childress.
Here.
Sean Russell.
Here.
Mayor Charles Wyatt.
Here.
Attorney Mark Phillips.
Here.
Mayor, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Those who'd like to join with me to the pledge, please do so at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Well, because Amber and I were staring at each other one day when that started, because she was looking at that one, and so I turned so she wasn't the only one,
And she turned the other way.
and this time she let me down, but we're good.
Now we've got the flag situation taken care of. Approval of previous minutes from 9/9/25, 9/23/25, and executive session 9/25/25. What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Make a motion to approve all previous minutes.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Ayes have it. Mayor's update. Last week we were working on several grants here at City Hall, trying to secure some other funds. Square Flare, I believe I could declare that a success. I thought it went very well. A lot of hard work went into that, but I think it turned out very well. The weather was wonderful. Sarah Bowman, she's working on Boonville, October 31st. And so that's our next big deal. And I know that Donna Worthwine up here is looking for volunteers to help with Christmas in Boone Village and anything else in between. So with that, that's all my mayor's updates. I'm looking for citizens' concerns. Any citizens' concerns that's not on the agenda already? Okay,
Well,
Maybe.
sign in.
I'll give you an opportunity.
Okay, perfect.
We'll let you.
Yeah.
Under old business, status on water line to Gimlish Road, that's tabled. Update on the demo on South 3rd Street. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Greg Freiberger. I represent the property owners and the tenants that were in the buildings at 217 and 219 South 3rd. I'm really just here to give you guys an update on what we've accomplished so far. Obviously, nothing's been accomplished removing the buildings or brick because of the number of parties involved, et cetera, making sure everybody's on the same page before we can do that. We did have our inspection with the engineers for the various parties on September 18th. And at that point in time, one of the engineers provided an off-the-cuff opinion that, of course, we can save the building, meaning the Stoner's building. Just depends on if you want to put $2 million into trying to save it. So what I took from that was a pretty clear indication that to protect that building, the engineering studies that would need to be done and the shoring up to protect that building while pulling off the Sassafras's building would at some level become financially unreasonable. As a result, I've spoken with my clients, and both of the building owners have given their approval to demolish those buildings. I've been in contact with the attorney for between the attorney who represents the city through the city's insurance. They're discussing how that plays out, who's got responsibility for costs, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where that is at right now. So essentially there has been some substantial progress, just not physical progress, The word that I received from Ainer's attorney was that it would take about 2 weeks to get the equipment ready to go, and then about 4 weeks to complete the demolition. And those are rough estimates, but that is what I've been told. There's also, we've been busy setting up a mediation between all the parties. That's set for December 8th. I know that doesn't have anything to do with the demolition of the buildings, obviously, but it does keep the matter moving forward. So that is the report that I have. Happy to answer any questions that I might be able to if you all have any. All right.
Anything, Chuck?
I don't have anything for right now.
Like I said, I just want to get it done. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
We've got people that are, anxious to use that street again. I think we're going to hear from one here in a minute, so.
Yeah, and I completely understand that and empathize with that, as well as I know you all empathize with the fact that my clients had nothing to do with the
Right.
destruction, obviously, so it's tough when you're told you have to demolish a building, you don't have the funds to do that because your building was the source of your income,
So
so.
do we have, am I right in saying that we had said that October 26th, that we had to have some action going? Does this qualify for enough action, or do we have to meet on that too?
I mean, I think you're talking about two different things. You're talking about, as I understand Greg, and I wasn't on the call, but I've been copied on emails, and what he says is what I understand the case to be. We're talking about making that street accessible. We're talking about three things.
Yeah,
Making part of that street accessible, demolishing the buildings, and resolving who the ultimate checks are being written by and for what component of damages are to complete that dispute. Your current firm deadline to begin work on demolition is the 26th.
October 26th
Yeah.
is my understanding,
And-
yes.
And so that's still in place.
It's still in place, and my understanding from the last meeting, which I did not attend, but I did watch on live stream, was that the issue regarding fines and whatnot are tabled. Obviously, a lot depends upon whether or not there's progress made. I believe there's progress being made, even though it's not progress, like I said, with the physical removal. There is definite progress being made in how we're going to get it removed, and simply the decision to allow the demolition of those two properties took a while, obviously, but much had to go in with regard to, the engineers and whatnot, so that my clients could make sure that they're mitigating their damages as best they can. And so that's what took that long to make that decision. From this point forward, it's somewhat out of their hands. The city's council, as well as the construction company's council, are discussing the finer details on the financial responsibility of that. And alternatively, we can hire someone to come in and do it, and it'll almost be a reverse type of scenario where we're going to send you all the bill. And obviously, that's not the best case scenario when Ainer Construction already has a piece of equipment there right now. They're familiar with the area, and probably can do the work more expedited and cost efficiently, which would go to mitigate those damages as well. So that's the scenario where we sit.
Did I hear who was going to do the work, or did you mention them?
Ainer Construction.
Anderson?
Eigner, I'm sorry.
Eigner, okay.
AIGNER.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes, sir, Mr. Russell.
I'm not trying to bait an attorney in a public meeting or nothing, but my personal opinion stays the same, and that is that if Eigner Construction is good enough to do it, and that's the contractor, they need to start on it as soon as possible. And I say we stay firm on the 26th on deadlines and fines and penalties, and keep moving forward, because it's been months and months and that street's still not open.
So noted.
In response to that, I completely understand the sentiment of leaving the deadline in place. My purpose here today is to provide an update. I will say that the fines and deadlines, or the fines at least, I'll preserve till a later date if we have to discuss that. But obviously, my purpose here today isn't to ask for an extension of the deadline yet. I think you can read between the lines. It's likely going to be requested at some point in time. But until then, I'll keep updating you on our movement forward.
So, again, the city's position as we sit here is that, and I'm going to make a suggestion here in a second, that the demolition needs to be substantially started on or before October 26th. And I don't hear Greg saying they want an extension, and I do hear him say somebody may request an extension, but it's going to be my recommendation that that extension be disfavored from a demolition standpoint, because, and I'm not arguing with him, I understand wanting to figure out who's going to pay what, but the reality of it is that needs to occur. And so, we've been very clear, and it really isn't his fault, frankly, or his clients, but we've been very clear that that needs to happen. And that date was not set arbitrarily. It was set with an understanding of what was necessary to get us to that point. And so I probably will have a call with a lawyer who's representing our carrier to make sure he fully, because I've not talked to him. We've traded emails and I've not talked to him. But so he fully understands that the city intends to enforce that deadline, notwithstanding the conversations people have on where the ultimate checks are written from. Because it's just untenable for people on that part of our square, going north-south on 3rd Street, and then, we've tied up a full block of business activity in that area. And so, at some point, I would imagine that those business owners and those property owners who are non-business are going to want to have a conversation about who's going to reimburse them for some of the losses and damages they've sustained. And the city's in a position where we're going to do everything we can to mitigate our exposure, and that is to get the demolition done and to get that street opened back up. So, and again, I'm not saying something Greg's not surprised to hear. It's going to be my recommendation that the city maintain its vigilance to maintain that deadline, and what has been said multiple times in meetings has to occur for that to be viewed favorably. And that is going to be that there has to be some substantial movement towards the complete demolition of those structures.
Lisa, would you want to speak? I think you're signed up.
Yes, well, I'm not sure I'm signed up, but briefly, and I appreciate that, Mr. Lewis.
Go to the mic, please.
So the problem I'm having
And-
now,
She's going to tell you, state your name, so we,
And address.
for the minutes for later, it's easier for us.
not a problem, Lisa Harris. I own the properties at 206 and what was formerly 210 South 3rd. They are both now 206 South 3rd. My mailing address is 1116 Ratliff Court here in Boonville. The problem I'm running into is up until last week, I believe it was, I'm well aware the sidewalk was closed on one end, it says. The other end does not say that. People have continued through there, not a lot, but they have somewhat. But I'm now in the position, I've learned through the minutes, that the sidewalk was totally officially closed. It was easy enough to assume from one end, not the other. However, I'm now prevented from renting one of my units because it's the only access I have. There is no back access to one unit. So with the way that's laid out, I would request that the street be open at least the bulk of this time, or not the street, the sidewalk. My buildings are really kind of far from the other ones. Even when the one building came down, it didn't affect my buildings. So kind of on the opposite end. I'm not out looking to file a suit. That's the last thing I want to do, to be honest. I've been patient because things happen, and I think people should be patient with each other. but I need access now on that sidewalk on my end. So I would request that it be opened. And honestly, I don't want to say just opened through my building, you know, I'm the one here about it. I learned earlier today that 2 buildings south of me has not even been able to receive their mail. They've had to make additional arrangements for even their mail to go elsewhere. With the way it's gated off, with them just standing there, you know, technically, it seems one side of the road could be open, but I'm not even making that request. But if the sidewalk could be opened as well, it would be helpful. Again, I've got one building that I can't even, I guess, walk into myself because I'd have to step around onto the sidewalk to get into it, and I can't rent it with it the way it is.
Who's got the authority on that?
Oh, you do.
The insurance company?
No, we have the authority to regulate that. The carrier has no authority. They have no oversight authority whatsoever. I floated the idea last meeting, I think, to put a censored light on the south end. And I still think that is accomplishable because from what I remember, and I drive by there pretty frequently just to see what the status is, and I think the concern was from a public safety standpoint that people would not know which direction to go. But if we sign it, and we have the ability to direct the traffic one way or the other, that would seem to make sense to me. And as I suggested at the last meeting or two, it doesn't make any sense to me that sidewalk would not be open as long as there is a barrier from some point, and I'm just using my own visual here, midpoint of 3rd Street East, some footage where you could either pass, or if the board determines that it's not appropriate to have the street open, I clearly think that the sidewalk should be open.
Mark, may I interject for a moment?
Yeah.
I need to talk to them. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. Sarah Bowman, zoning administrator. When we were on the 18th of September, I believe, Greg, if I'm correct, and we had all of our engineers and our attorneys, that was a question we asked at that time. And there wasn't one expert on the road that suggested we could open this up. And that's the only reason it has stayed closed. So I understand, I don't know the best route to go here, but if we're talking about safety, we pay structural engineers a lot of money to be right, and I tend to want to go with their recommendation. I understand you wanting to, I just,
Let me give you a comparison. So, Johnson Park. When we determined that building was in imminent danger and we cordoned off or fenced off that area, Jeff, you'll remember this, we left the part of that street open.
Not originally.
No.
Okay.
But when we realized that the barrier was sufficient to keep any debris, we opened that up, and it was open one direction for a significant period of time. Here's the thing, I'm not a structural engineer, but the concern I have is that and I think what the city has to do, what this board has to do, is balance the competing interests. You've got the public safety, which is obvious, and then you also have the interest of the property owners who are prevented from using their property. And the thing that I've not seen, and I appreciate what you're saying, and I wasn't there, I think Brennan was, but no one has sent anything to the city of Boonville to this date that has said that the eastern half of that road is compromised by virtue of the partial demolition and deterioration of that building. So, as I said before, and I'll say again, I don't think there's anything in front of you, and Greg, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, if there's something I'm not aware of, that says that that is a safety hazard for purposes of keeping the entire street blocked off.
Greg Freiberger again. No, I have not seen anything as well that says it's a safety hazard. The hazard I'm aware of is going into the buildings, obviously. But as far as an another imminent collapse, I've not seen anything that says that there's any danger. Now, when the demolition begins, obviously, different scenario.
Totally different.
Yeah, I would say it'd be best to close the street back down while that's done. But
Correct.
for the time being, I have not seen anything that says.
So, again, thank you. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen anything, and I'm a spokesperson for the abundance of caution. However, I think you have to balance the business owners here and their interest, because we have a similar duty to them. It's just a different duty, and that is to maintain access to their facilities to the extent we maintain those right-of-ways, and we do. So all I'm suggesting to you is, I don't think it's inappropriate at all for the sidewalk to be opened, and I think you could also order or determine that the eastern lane be open for traffic flow, deciding which way you think that traffic should go. And it makes sense to me that it would continue as it's designed to go from south to north. It seems sort of silly to me that you would, because then I think you would confuse the people that operate vehicles in that area, so.
But it'd be signage, you're not talking about a light, you're talking about signage one way where they could.
Yeah,
get
no,
there.
as I
Okay.
think about it, if you maintain the normal course of travel in the eastbound lane moving south to north, you wouldn't need a light. You would just have a no-turn sign as you go through the intersection at Locust and Third, near those barriers that are already there. And again, I'm not an engineer, but it just simply says no right turn. And then those people would come through as
If
they
I
normally.
may, when we originally had just one lane blocked up, we had people turning off of Locust going south on Third.
We just need to have it marked signage wise that that's not permissible. Now, is that going to prevent somebody from doing it? I guess, you get people go the wrong way now, on one ways that are not marked, that are clearly marked as one way, so.
Sure, see it every day.
Every day, you have people that are doing it, so I don't think you can prevent that.
I got
But-
you, I'm just bringing that up.
No, that's a
it, 'cause that was
legitimate
an
question.
issue. Nobody's gonna be expecting a car
legitimate.
coming over and turning, but,
I just worry about,
No.
congestion down there, like I had some that had said, well, we just blocked the south part of it off so the north part could get in. Well, people would be getting in there and they wouldn't be able to turn around and stuff like that, so.
Could I make this-
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
No, you go right ahead, Jeff.
Why don't we just open up just the sidewalk, keep the road blocked, and just have the sidewalk completely open? Then basically pedestrians, everybody would still be, yes, I don't know that it's in a state of condition where it's going to be any more collapses, but with Stoner's condition of the upper part of that building, if it would happen to fall, I have watched, the night of the collapse, there were breaks all the way over into that other parking lot.
Well, we would still have a fence barrier
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. but-
between the passable road. Here's the only thing, and then I'm gonna not say anything else about it. If there's a request to extend the demolition deadline, which I've already told you, it's gonna be my recommendation that you not do unless there's just some really significant circumstance that supports it, and you do it anyway, then that area will remain closed. I have said, I think there are emergency vehicle issues. I've always said that, and I always think that's a concern. But what I think is a concern is not what the board will do. So the board can do whatever it wants to do. It can do nothing. It can order that the sidewalk be opened. It can be ordered that the sidewalk and the eastbound or the east northbound lane be open, you can do any combination or nothing. I'm just telling you that, like a lot of things, you've got to balance the interest of everyone affected in making that decision. And I think, you know, we've waited a long time to get to this point, and we now have property owners that are concerned about their ability to maintain the viability of their property because they cannot get access. And I think you have to consider that. That's all I'm saying.
Anything else, Lisa?
Lisa, can you sign in your name and- so that we have it on the record, please?
Board, you got any questions or comment?
I'm completely good with opening up that. I'm assuming it would be the east sidewalk? Is
Yes,
that the sidewalk we was referring to on the east side?
yes,
Between,
well,
what's,
East side.
I'm terrible.
Locust and Walnut.
Walnut and Locust.
Yeah, Walnut, Locust.
was hearing, if everything, today is what, October the 7th, so we got 20 days. Hopefully there'll be some significant movement in that time frame. Sherry, are you wanting to speak on this issue? Okay.
Really quick here, I mean, I'm in favor of opening up the east side of the road sidewalk, and why couldn't we open up about half of the other one? There's a big chunk of that sidewalk is nowhere near those buildings.
Sherry?
Sherry Severs, 106 West Locust Street. And my concern is this, my building is a neighbor to what's fallen down back there, and we are going on 7 months that road has been shut down. The mosquito issue is so bad, we haven't been able to use our backyard because of it. It's obviously a very dangerous situation. All of that debris is wet. Mosquitoes are breeding in that. There's mosquitoes in all of the weeds and everything else around there. I feel like I've been very patient by having to look at that disgusting mess out my backyard, but I have to park in front of my building, and I sent you all an email last week. I get my grandchildren 3 days a week. My 2-year-old got away from me. He was within minutes of getting ran over on the square because I typically park in April's parking lot and go across that street. We've been doing that since this has been shut down. However, a police officer informed me that I can't use the sidewalk or the street. I feel like it's safer for me to go through the glass than put my grandchildren's lives in jeopardy on this square when people don't go the speed limit. And quite frankly, I was a little bit taken back, Mr. Freiberger, by your comment. Nothing can be torn down because it's evidence. I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's disrespect to the city of Boonville. You've got, your clients have things in the middle of that street that need to be cleaned up, and they should be paying a fine for that. And take a picture. This could go in litigation for years. Are we going to keep a building up for years while people fight? I pay taxes. Lisa, you're shutting commerce down. Who's responsible for that? And again, I've been patient. I love this city, but I think enough's enough. And I feel bad for the people that have lost their buildings. But at the end of the day, the building is worth so much money. The loss of income is worth so much money. That's all it's worth. If you can't get it worked out, then go to court and get it worked out. But quit abusing the taxpayers in this county, in this town, and property owners that don't get to enjoy their property. This is also an issue for our 911 responders to have to go all the way around. And quite frankly, I'm a little put out. I am really taken back. And I think we as a city, if that were me and my building, and I had debris in the yard, in the middle of the road, I'm sure I would be fined. I'm no different than anybody else. But I feel like enough's enough. It's time to move forward. I feel like the city of Boonville needs to hold people's feet to the fire. Let them fight it out between the insurance company and in court, but not on my time anymore, especially when you put my grandchildren's safety in jeopardy. Thank you.
I just want to reiterate, Mayor, that I'm for opening up whatever we can safely open up. I don't know about the one lane. I mean, I know it can get kind of crazy, and I've seen it, you know, the last time we had one of those lanes shut off over there, but I'm still with, if it's not, well, there's not significant progress by the 26th of October, that we get something over there and start tearing it down ourselves. And I'll leave it at that.
I'd entertain a motion, building sidewalks on the east side and partially on the west side of South Third.
I'll make that motion.
I don't know why we would open the west side, there's nothing on that side.
Sherry, you get her from one
She
side
can
of the street
cross
to the
at
other.
crosswalk.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
So under Robert's Rules of Order, somebody needs to second this, and then you all can talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to second it for opening the west side.
Well, you can.
Well, okay, I'm gonna
I'm just
second.
I'm talking about just
I'll
for
second
discussion.
it for discussion. Go ahead, Chuck.
Now go ahead.
I don't see where opening the west side does any good, there's nothing there. And if you're using the east side sidewalk, you'll come up to the crosswalk anyway to cross over to Sherry's building. You wouldn't want her cutting across the road to get to the west side sidewalk. There's no building, there's no storefronts on the west side sidewalk. At all.
Chuck, if we don't need the west side, if we don't need that west side partial open, I would gladly change that motion.
Hang on, you got something to add to it, Lisa?
To follow up with what Sherry was saying, the back of the buildings there, she can go out her back and walk right behind on the north side of where these buildings were. If the west side was open to the sidewalk just down so far to where she can access the sidewalk to go up to the crosswalk if you don't want her crossing the road. But she can get to the crosswalk, and it keeps her and her grandchildren off of Locust Street. But she still, if you keep the entire west side shut down, she still has to come out her front door and walk down the sidewalk that way. And I've witnessed it, not just Sherry, but people are still using it. Select people have now been stopped by the police. Not saying anything there, I'm just saying they don't see what happens all the time. But there is nothing along Terry's building
Right.
there. So if it can be opened up just to give access for anybody in these buildings to go back behind it
I
and go north.
thought that, Mayor,
Go ahead.
I thought that that the back of Terry's building was in part compromised. That's what I thought.
There is something
Well, no,
covering part of it up.
so,
We can't even, Mark, we can't even go out our back door to Bombs, where my husband works part-time on Sunday. We have to come all the way up the square and all the way.
because it's closed.
Because it's closed as well.
You know, we've got a barricade back there.
So I've got, Matt, I've got two thoughts. So from a liability standpoint, I'm concerned about the west side. I don't want to get into a legal discussion here with lots of lawyers in the room, but it becomes an attractive nuisance in this respect. The concern that I have, Sherry, you're one responsible person. To all the other people who aren't responsible or nosy or whatever, I don't know how this, really, Chuck, to your point, I don't know how we could open it. I mean, I'm trying to visualize how far south you could go on the west side. But I think if you get it close to or adjacent to the area that was compromised by Terry's building, I just think that creates a real liability issue for the city. Now, and there's like I'm going to say there's an alley, but there was an alley. It may have been a previously dedicated, rejected right-of-way, but behind Terry's and between the building that collapsed initially, right? Am I thinking about that right? Okay. There's not another right-of-way area on the west side that you could get to that wouldn't create an exposure to that area that's already been compromised. Secondly, I'm going to bring something else up with your permission on this point. I've suggested that the road be cleared anyway. I've said that. I don't think that has any detrimental effect on anybody's discovery, on litigation, nothing. I think that should be cleared. I just think it should be cleared. I think the city has the right to direct it that be cleared.
When you say cleared, you're not meaning open, you're meaning
Well,
cleaned up
the
in front of
debris
the
cleaned
building.
up.
Okay.
And the third thing is, and again, with your permission, I think mosquito issue is something that the city also needs to address. If you've watched the news at all, Indiana
West
now
Nile.
is the highest West Nile incident rate in the country. And I don't know this either, but if in your consideration of this issue, is there a spray can we spray that area to address that, at least in the area that she's talking about on the building that's partially, the first building, the one that we contracted to have demolished?
I'm sure there is.
So I would suggest you also consider that, but I agree, I think you have identified an issue, liability issue on the west side just because of the proximity of that area that's compromised. That would be my concern from a legal standpoint. But what you do on the east sidewalk or that north-south lane, I think you can do whatever you want based on the information that's in front of you.
May I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
The last Board of Works meeting, the motion was for me to contact Jordan, Mr. Eigner, about demoing and clearing the street. So that motion went forward. I contacted Mr. Eigner. He cannot touch the stuff in the street because Mr. Scheller stated everything in the street is his personal property, and if you touch it, I will sue.
Let him sue. That street, we are required to maintain that street.
Yes, I was under the impression we were getting a letter sent to both Eigner and Schellers from the last meeting. So I believe that's where we are in order to push the cleanup, is to get those two items. And I'll talk to Brennan if I need to.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not.
You're okay.
I'm not
I
familiar
just
with
thought
that.
I would go ahead and stop this. I can tell you about what's in the road and why it is not.
People can sue, that's fine. I'm just telling you, I think that we need, that can be done, because again, to Sherry's point, probably, if that's contributing to the bug issue, which it probably is, then if that can be remediated, then that should be done.
But you're not in favor of, you're advising us not to open the west side simply
Yeah,
because of that?
Yeah, well, no, I just think because
Because of the debris in Terry's building?
well, just the fact that there was an area that was compromised there, and I think, I don't know what conversation there is there. I'm assuming his carrier is involved too. No, is not. So, but we have an area that's been partially compromised, and I would not want people walking in that area or being around that area until that's remediated. And I don't know what that entails as we sit here. I have no clue.
I would agree with that, Mark, 100%, because there's quite a bit of damage on Terry's. My only concern is, I just want the street open, and we continue to go on and go on. And I will tell you this, we've got a big hole in Stoner's Bar building after this last fallout. We go through a freeze thaw situation, and water gets down in there, and there's 3 layers of brick. I can tell you what's gonna happen. It's common law. It's gonna be a domino effect. It's gonna come down. So, we can go on and go on. How much longer until something is done to clear this off?
Well, October 26th is may I respond, is the deadline. And so my anticipation is that somebody will be in here before then, either saying, yes, it's going to happen, no, it's not, and then the board will decide whether the no, it's not is acceptable, and if not, then, we have self-help remedies that we can engage in and then, pass that bill on. And we've made that record very clear. I think Greg would agree. So, and let me just say this, one thing in defense of Greg. They're in a bad spot. And I don't think his comment was intended, Sherry, the way you received it. I can understand. No, and I get that. I get that. And
Because it just seems like for now 7 months, nothing with the capital N
Right.
has been done. And until this last Board of Works meeting, nobody was out there.
right,
Nobody was out there except the demo guy from Princeton to look at it on a Sunday afternoon. Nobody's been there. Nobody's been addressing anything.
Well,
And, you know, I really think it's time, again, to hold the people's feet to the fire. And I feel terrible that it happened. It wouldn't have mattered if it was Eigner or Klink
Right.
or Koberstein. It was gonna happen. That's what happens with common walls. Our whole square is built that way, except what got burnt out. And I do feel bad for those people, and I want to see them be made whole. But keeping these buildings up for evidence and discovery is not gonna make those people whole. And it certainly is not gonna make me HAPPY,
so,
because I don't intend to continue to live this way.
so here's, in response to to your question to me, here's my recommendation from a liability standpoint only. I don't think it's a liability issue to open up the west, or the east sidewalk, okay? I don't, I've not heard anything or seen anything.
I don't have a problem with that.
And I don't think it's a liability issue if the barrier in the roadway is to the west of the center line, so that you have a legitimate passageway. I don't think we've been given anything to suggest that's a danger issue either. Those are separate considerations. I also believe that it would be a real problem to open up the west side for the reasons that have been stated. And I think that you can order that the debris be moved, okay? I don't think there's any value to that sitting in that. And then finally, I think that there should be some immediate investigation as to the bug infestation or the mosquito habitat that creates a public health issue, especially in light of the West Nile virus information that's been released recently.
So I need you to rescind your second, right?
Rescind the motion.
Rescind the motion.
Matt, just to
Go ahead.
you, Your Honor, he can amend his motion. They can always amend it for reconsideration.
So that would be Sean.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
or Chuck could propose it too, either way.
I'm fine either way. So are we talking about just only opening the west side?
East.
I'm
East
sorry,
side.
east side, yeah. Yeah, I'll amend my motion to only open up the east side of Third Street sidewalk.
I can second that.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. East side will be opened. We'll have to get with Veolia and whoever else put that stuff up there. I don't even know if Eigner did that.
I don't know either.
We'll find out.
I think
And then
I think
Jeffrey-
the orange was Jordan.
And then Jeff, you're gonna look into the,
Yeah, maybe a combination on the barricades, it's a little bit of
Okay.
everybody helping each other out.
and then Sarah, you're gonna get with Brennan to see about getting that letter, so.
We just need to do it.
For you- to
Letter
you.
or not letter.
Now, does that wrap that up? Yes, Lisa.
Just clarification, I'm getting over it.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Street open on east side or just sidewalk?
Sidewalk,
for now.
sidewalk.
For now,
So your motion's clear.
Third.
from Walnut to Locust,
Okay.
sidewalks open on the east side.
Now, you,
I wanna make a motion that Agner's has a week to get the crap off the road, and no letters have to be sent or anything else. If they don't move it in a week, we'll move it and send them the bill.
I can get down with that. I'll second that.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
and then if you would address the issue regarding the mosquito situation,
Yeah, he's on it.
I think you need to make a motion to that effect.
need to make a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to have Jeff Floyd investigate getting mosquito spraying in that area.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor of that motion second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thought you were busy.
Mayor, can I, one other thing that might be useful here, may I address the board?
Absolutely.
So I would suggest you imposing a deadline prior to October 26th that lets the participants of those discussions know that you're either not going to extend the deadline or that you, Greg will appreciate this, and Mr. Hendrickson, sort of a final pretrial conference where you're given the opportunity to say, okay, here's where we are, it's the 26th, what day of the week is that?
It's on a Sunday. Problem is, we cannot.
Sunday or Monday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday or Monday?
Sunday.
Okay,
So
Sunday.
what was the problem, Tammy? What were you saying?
Our normal next Board of Works meeting is gonna have to be moved to the 28th because we're all gone for that AIM
Conference.
on the 21st.
Okay.
So,
Make a motion now.
This
So
is
why
what it
don't-
would have been, and this is what,
so why don't, it doesn't make any sense to have a deadline on a Sunday.
no, but
Yeah, that's just what,
Refresh me.
And it was just the day it fell when we extended it
Yeah, I
from
mean, it was just
September.
basically, it was the
It's just
60-day
another-
deadline. I mean, it was
yeah.
where the 60-day.
So let me make this suggestion, just to make this easier. Why don't we extend the deadline, which you can do, to the 27th? Close a bit, like, pick it, close the business on the 27th, and have them schedule a time, and it doesn't have to be in a public meeting. It can be contacting Sarah by day, the Wednesday before, the Thursday before, and say, okay, you need to let us know whether you're going to begin the demolition such that there is substantial progress towards that before the 27th.
Okay.
And then if they say, yes, we are, then we'll know that that's the case. If they say, no, we're not, then, that deadline is a firm deadline. And the city's made that very clear.
So make a motion that they need to contact Sarah by the 23rd, 24th.
Whatever you want. The sooner the better. I mean, Greg, do you have an opinion?
I'd say the 22nd, that's a Wednesday, I believe.
Perfect.
That'd be fine.
yeah.
So the 22nd, let me help you with that motion, Chuck, or Sean, that the business owners or their designees, or their designees, are to contact the city, specifically Sarah.
Yes.
Bowman, sorry. By the close of business on that day, to confirm that there is substantial progress that is or will be made prior to the October 27 deadline.
I'll make that motion.
and the date was the 22nd?
22nd.
By the close of business, so that gives them
October
until
22nd.
4. Greg, let's just make, so that there's no 4 o'clock, what time do we close? 5. 5 o'clock on the 22nd.
22nd,
Perfect.
Wednesday.
And that way, we'll have some advance notice of whether that's happening or not, and then it gives the city some time before Monday to evaluate it. Or Tuesday, you said the meeting's on Tuesday.
Because October 22nd will be
On the
out of town for a
28th.
conference, so then you can just contact me that way.
Or are you
Or
back on
email.
the 23rd?
No, we're in AIM.
Oh, okay, I'm
So,
sorry.
I mean, yeah, it's a conference, I won't be back.
Well, then
until-
just have them contact me, or have them
That's fine,
contact
too.
us, yeah. That way, yeah. If you'll amend your motion, Chuck, to have them contact me, or our firm, either Brennan or me.
I'll amend my motion to contact the Phillips Law Office.
That's fine. On or before 5 o'clock on,
October 22nd.
yeah, perfect.
Got a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, ayes have it. Thank you. I think that's the end of this one, so. Moving on, the only thing, I brought something, Sean, you haven't seen this yet, but, I got an update from, it's Kohler, our warranties on our generators, our 4 generators. Kohler's got a free 10-year warranty program. Well, it's not free, but it's $2,100, and that extends all 4 of our generators at, City Hall, police station, fire station, code enforcement. That extends that for 10 years, that warranty on those Kohler generators and everything. And this has to be done before the end of the month, October 31st, 2025. It would save the city quite a bit of money, because we'd have to go out there and buy those other extended warranties. You're talking about $6,000, $7,000 is what I was told.
I don't think that, may I assist you, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Don't think that's right.
This gets all 4 of the generators, and there's no fees, there's no anything else. It's just a flat fee for that, the $2,100 for our 4 generators.
May I assist you?
Sure.
So let me, no. Can we take a quick recess?
Okay, we can have a recess.
So here's what this says, because
Hang on.
I misread it the same way. So there is an existing 10-year warranty
No,
program.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna give you some other information. Boonville Natural Gas and Cooling proposes to provide and install cellular kits on all 4 of the city-owned Kohler generators for a price of $2,100. What that does, then that triggers your extended 10-year warranty if you do that.
That's correct.
So I'm bringing that to the board because, like I said, I think it's significant savings and warranties and everything on our products that we've installed. So I'm asking for support on that.
Mayor, may I?
Yes, Michael?
Mike Dennis, IT manager for the city of Boonville. They're wanting to install cell cards in each of the 4 generators.
Yes.
Is that going to cost us a monthly subscription?
No,
for anything?
no,
My
no,
generator's
no,
already hooked up to
no
the-
fees. Zach and I went and found that out. You had a phone call yesterday. The $2,100 is the only thing you're paying. And then at the end of that time frame, if we wanted to go back to our direct deal, we can. But this is their incentive to get everybody else, not everybody's direct wired like we are.
So by adding those cards, that's no way going to affect my existing network connections.
As far as I know, it wouldn't.
Just asking.
I had Zach with me, our other IT guy, and he thought it was a good idea that we do this.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent about an hour and a half on this the other day, so, yeah. Any other questions, Michael? Okay. All right. Looking for a motion.
It's $2,100.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the $2,100 for Boonville Natural Gas to install the cellular kits.
I got a second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you. Was there anything else, Tammy, you had any extra?
Yeah,
You got something
well, we got some stuff on the agenda, but, and then-
other than this
Okay.
is all
Yeah,
I've
this.
got.
Tammy?
no, we haven't done any of this. That's.
Okay,
that-
okay,
And
okay.
then we also have this amendment to the public. Yeah,
So on new business, you want me to go, you want to do this now? Go ahead,
this,
No, the amendment.
the amendment.
yeah.
You can do this, and then I'll just address that.
We're doing
Uh,
public private now.
Which one we want to do first? You want to do the order to repair and demolish
Yeah, that's your
unsafe
next
building
order of business.
at 807 North Third Street, the Walker property? Jeffrey?
Okay, so we have a dilapidated structure at 807 North Third. It's been in a deplorable condition for quite some time. We've done a cleanup there back in like 18. Obviously, owners just neglected it, has not put any effort into maintaining it.
Jeff, you need to talk into I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry about that.
We can't.
Okay, so 807 North Third Street, it's a property we've had a history with. But anyway, we've had it condemned by the Ward County Buildings Department a little while back. But I have actually posted the property. I have also sent a certified notification to the mortgage owner and the owners, and they both have received those. We have until basically have an order to either repair or demo by November 16th. If at that point, if they do not, my recommendation be is that the board, that we just go ahead and look into demoing the property. He's not done really anything since even being notified about the rake vegetation. His deadline was like last week. Hasn't done very much at all. I've not been contacted by the owner or anything, so it's definitely one we need to move on to clean that area up. I think you've got pictures and stuff that are included with the orders.
May I address the board?
Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
So there's some findings you've got to make. I think you need to call the public hearing open and see if anyone is here on behalf of the property located at 807 North Third Street in Boonville,
Okay.
either as a property owner or as an interested party.
Okay. I'll open a public hearing for the unsafe building at 807 North Third Street here in Boonville, Indiana. Is there anybody in the room to speak to this?
I would ask.
I'll ask 3 times. Anybody here that would like to speak on 807 North Third Street, the unsafe building premises? Third and final time, 807 North Third Street, Boonville, Indiana, unsafe building and premises. Anybody here to speak on that? If not, I'm going to call the public meeting to an end.
And then, Mayor, may I address the board?
Same.
I would ask that you adopt Jeff Floyd's report as evidence in support of his request that the building be declared uninhabitable and unsafe, and his request to determine that the property is abandoned pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-37. And then I would ask that you make that finding, and then the board has 2 other discretionary options. One is you can affirm, modify, or rescind the order that's been mailed. My recommendation would be that you affirm. And then secondly, if you do that and you determine that the property owners have willfully failed to comply with this order and failed to appear, then you may then assess an additional fine in an amount not to exceed $5,000.
Would you help walk them through those motions again? Mr. Phillips?
Happy
Thank
to.
you.
So, Mayor, you would entertain a motion to adopt the report of Mr. Floyd in support of the factual basis pursuant to statute and a determination that this property has been abandoned.
It's your pleasure, gentlemen.
I'll make that motion.
I think he said, we got a motion, I couldn't hear you. I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second to adopt, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
And then,
Next.
Mayor, you would entertain a motion to determine a proper civil penalty or fine in addition to those that accrue under 36794 and Boonville Ordinance 2004-2, should you choose, an amount not to exceed $5,000.
Your pleasure.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion. I got a second. All in favor of that motion?
Hang on.
Yes, sir.
Somebody needs to designate what that amount is, not to exceed $5,000. So there needs to be an amount specific for purposes of the motion.
$5,000.
Okay.
Second the motion.
Okay. I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next.
Then I would simply confirm the deadline to demolish, either repair or demolish the property of November 16th, 2025.
I'll make that motion for November 16th, 2025.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Okay. Next on the agenda, GM Development, invoice number 1, Boonville Pool, $724,487.53.
Right there.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, you just have to sign across it.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see it now. Greg Martz has submitted this.
Okay, Mayor, can I assist you?
Go ahead.
I think this would be more commonly referred to as a pay app 1 for that project. It's not titled that, but that's the effect of what it is.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay app number 1 for GM Development in an amount of $724,487.53.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. And then we've got amendment to public-private agreement here. And Mr. Phillips is going to handle that one also.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as I understand it, attached to the document is the city's request for Boonville Aquatic Alternate Number 1, Package 3, which I believe to be the spray pad and the spray pad building. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the assistant. Yeah, so all it is that we are going ahead with the full project with the pool, the splash pad, and the playground.
And all of the ancillary changes to the original design to incorporate that.
Yeah, so it's all just, yeah, the whole phase.
And the amendment provides that the contract amount will increase from $17,947,658.83 to $20,029,632.83 for an additional scope related to this change of $2,081,974.
Correct.
Well, I can just make a motion to approve the amendment.
To approve the amendment.
I make a
Mayor, you
motion to
would sign
approve
the
the
second page.
amendment to the public-private agreement.
As
I'll
stated.
second that motion.
Chuck, as stated in the amount, I would read the amount just into the record.
The
That
big
2
amount of
million.
the 2 million. As stated in the contract of 2 million,
20 million is the new price.
No, I would just want me to read the additional amount.
$2,081,974 additional cost.
Perfect.
Do I have a second on that, Sean?
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, ayes have it. Oh, my paper, oh, here it is. We got that, is there any, you have any other additionals? If not, we'll go to taps and adjustments then. In front of you, you've got clerical adjustments.
Make a motion to approve all properly documented clerical adjustments.
Second that motion.
Here they are, right? I got a motion second to approve all properly documented clerical adjustments. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, ayes have it. Next on the agenda, we've got adjustments. Mike Connor, 116 North First Street, underground water leak, $205.43. I think he had a water line replaced in front of his house.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion, second to approve. All in favor of that motion, second, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next, we got a Curry, well, is that the only adjustment? That was, wasn't it?
That's the only one I got.
Okay, yeah, Mike Connor. Next, we got sewer service application for Corey Hirsch at 215 Victoria Woods Drive. $200 inspection fee. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Water.
Now we've got a water service at 2151 Victoria Woods Drive. That is a $100 inspection fee is what's required here.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. What is that, ginger?
Ginger, yes.
Ginger rake straw?
Now you have one
I
more.
have another.
Oh, there's a, okay. Well, we'll go back to Corey Hirsch then at 2151 Victoria. Oh, he must want a sprinkler.
Yeah.
So it's $1,150 for the tap fee and a $100 inspection fee.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. I think this is a contract, I think.
Yeah.
For delinquent.
Yep, it is.
For $427.64, Ginger is asking that they be put on 12 monthly payments of $35.64.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Got a motion second to approve. All in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. We don't ever
You don't
sign.
sign those?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
All right, well, I think that's about wrapping up, except we got approval of claims on the agenda next.
Make a motion to approve all properly documented claims.
Second that motion.
I got a motion and second to approve all properly documented claims. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Final order of business today, adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second
I
that.
got a motion and second to adjourn. The Boonville Board of Works, all in favor of that motion, second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your work.